Tonight, the desperate search and recovery for survivors in Central Texas. By air, foot, and water, going through the mangled wreckage left in the wake of that fatal flash flood.
We remain hopeful every foot, every mile, every bend of the river.
Oh my God!
But the clock is ticking. Search efforts entering their fourth day after torrential rain sent the Guadalupe River surging, turning the holiday weekend into a trail of horror.
Water rose so quick, you couldn't do anything about it.
You know what I see? I see a graveyard. This is sacred ground. It's real hard not to feel bad because I know some of these people.
Dozens of people still missing, at least 105 people dead, more than 1,000 people have been rescued.
In debris fields like this, there are dozens of workers. You can see them scattered. There are debris piles like this extending for dozens of miles down the Guadalupe River.
And among the dead, at least 27 children from one summer camp, the beloved Camp Mystic.
These are babies that were lost.
It is the safest place on Earth. That night on July 4th, it quickly became the most unsafe place on Earth, but not just Mystic, the whole hill country.
Now the stories of their heroism.
And there was, 200 kids looking to someone for some sort of comfort and safety.
And survival.
We saw all of the other camps destroyed, obliterated.
Plus, questions being raised about emergency warnings. Could more lives have been saved in the second deadliest flood in Texas history?
We know we get rains, we know the river rises, but nobody saw this coming.
Texas Hill Country, known for its majestic beauty, has been home to several summer camps for generations. But it's also been dubbed Flash Flood Alley.
This area of Texas is called Flash Flood Alley because of its steep terrain, its shallow soil, and the numerous high-intensity rainfall events that happen, especially because of its proximity to the Gulf and getting moisture even from the Pacific.
At the epicenter of these deadly floods, Camp Mystic. It's a Christian girls' camp near Hunt, Texas, where 750 campers spent the night into July 4th. Several campers and a counselor are still missing.
It was just a normal day. The day before, nobody had any idea what was going to happen.
Camp nurse Devin Williams filming the day's festivities before tragedy struck, staff entertaining campers in the dining hall, games being played on the lawn outside. Caroline Catrona was a counselor at the camp's nearby Cypress Lake, 9 minutes from the Guadalupe River, where she was also previously a camper for 7 years. Never would she have thought the sanctuary for so many girls would be destroyed.
We went to bed. Thunder came in around midnight. I woke up about every hour looking at the clock and just watching the night go on, and I was like, wow, it's still storming, it's still storming, it's still storming.
At 3:35 a.m., the National Weather Service upgrading a previous flash flood warning, urging people to move to higher ground now. But Caroline, like so many others, didn't get that notification.
We turn in our phones, so none of us had our phones, because that's just what all camps do anywhere. That's part of the reason I wanted to go, is you don't have your phone.
It was sometime between 4 and 6 a.m. when the nearby Guadalupe River surged, rising 26 feet in less than an hour.
In the atmosphere, you had this really slow-moving system that's just circulating and barely moving. On top of that, you added moisture from 3 distinct places. So that's like turning on 3 faucets into a kiddie pool and just letting them pour and pour and pour.
This time-lapse video showing just how fast another nearby river rose hours later. Houses washed away, bridges severely damaged, trees snapped in half, many toppled, and homes left in the middle of the road. And when the sun rose, an apocalyptic scene, muddy mattresses, those bent bunk beds, and sodden pink comforters.
We had no idea people were missing. We had no idea that they had to wade through water, barely able to stand to get to the pavilion.
Devin and the surviving campers bust to safety.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Those surviving girls singing as they passed through miles of shredded countryside, past the trees that were smashed and the SUVs piled up like toys.
Probably the most dangerous.
Coast Guard rescue swimmer Scott Ruskin telling our David Muir what he witnessed when he landed at that camp. The crew decided Scott would have to stay on the ground with the children. It would allow them to get more out. He ended up rescuing 165 people.
If you stayed on scene, it would give him a little more space in the helicopter.
Yeah, we assumed that, based on weight, we could probably take 2 more kids every trip.
So they got to work. The children, some just 7 and 8 years old, looking to Scott for answers.
Primary, just asking about their friends. They wanted to see if I knew anything about their friends, show me pictures, do whatever they could to try to find their friends. And I just told them, I was like, hey guys, like, I don't know where they are. We have every crew we can possibly imagine.
At one point, you were carrying 2 girls in one arm.
Yeah, it was one in each arm, but yeah, it was just 2 little kids, like 7 years old, didn't have shoes on. I was like, dude, I'm not gonna make you guys walk through this mud, like while you're trying to get to a helicopter.
Camp Mystic has a storied history. Famous alums include Laura Bush, who worked as a counselor, and the daughters of Lady Bird Johnson. According to the group's website and seen here in one of their videos, campers are encouraged to develop friendships and learn life skills.
I mean, what camp should be. It's the best place ever, and you have zero worries there. It's heaven.
Now Caroline and the community are mourning their own and praying for those missing. The families of twin sisters Hannah and Rebecca Lawrence saying in a statement, Hannah and Rebecca gave their parents John and Lacey and sister Harper and all in our family so much joy. They and that joy can never be forgotten. The father of Kellyanne Lytle, who is still missing, releasing this video of her singing The Reindeer Rock at a recent Christmas pageant. Recent high school graduate Chloe Childress, who worked as a counselor, was planning to attend the University of Texas in the fall before dying in the tragedy. Dick Eastland was the beloved owner of Camp Mystic, dying trying to save as many campers as he could.
He was just this kind of camp dad that everyone looked up to and loved, and always present.
A far different outcome at the nearby boys' camp of La Junta, where everyone made it out to safety. But the destruction was severe.
I had a first-hand view of the flood, and my brother here, he had to swim out of his cabin.
Brothers Piers and Ruffin Boyette were at La Junta when the floodwaters rushed in.
On the way here, we saw all of the other camps destroyed, obliterated.
Another harrowing story of survival, 22-year-old Devin Smith rescued after clinging to a tree more than 14 miles downstream. Carl Jeter spotting her from his home and calling first responders.
Help is coming!
That survivor's uncle, Travis Reynolds, meeting that homeowner who spotted her in that tree, hugging him, thanking him, grateful.
It means a lot.
In another rescue, video showing neighbors and local authorities helping to rescue a woman in rapidly rising floodwaters, a chain of people pulling a rope to get her to safety. Officials in the region facing questions about whether lives could have been saved by a better warning system. Kerr County officials said they had previously presented a proposal for a more robust flood warning system, similar to a tornado warning system, but were unable to pass it because of the cost. Stuart Gross, a Texas code enforcement officer from Ingram, says no alert wakened him.
What was it that woke you up?
The fire department.
It wasn't the alert on your
No.
phone? What you're saying is that a better alert system would have saved lives.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If it wasn't for the Ingram Volunteer Fire Department, we would have lost a lot more people down below.
Officials ducking questions about the alert system and today canceling an afternoon press conference.
It's very tough to make those calls because what we also don't want to do is cry wolf.
The state's Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick speaking to Fox News, saying sirens in the area might have made all the difference.
The state will step up, and we need to have these in place by the next summer.
And tonight, a vigil in Houston for the girls of Camp Mystic, along with other lives lost.
Our thanks to Matt. We'll, of course, have continuing coverage on this story on GMA in the morning and on all ABC platforms.